Hello Libra, welcome to my channel. Thank you so very much for joining me for your October 2023 Tarotscope. It is my absolute pleasure to be here with you. In the description box below, you will find links to all sorts of goodies, including links to my social media pages, personal readings, and information on donations if those are avenues you would like to explore. There will also be a timestamp if you would like to jump to the start of your reading. Please do keep in mind that this is a collective reading, not a personal reading, so only take what resonates with you. I would like to start by apologizing for the delay in getting this October reading to you. I went on vacation in the middle of October, and upon my return got very, very sick, and then experienced some trouble with my sciatica. And this all brings me to the month of November. So I was out of commission, if you will, for the last couple of weeks in October, and had to definitely step back and take care of myself. That being said, we're kind of going to time travel with this reading, and I've set the intention, pardon me, that those who find it can gain clarity or confirmation on what took place for them in October and how that might influence them moving forward through the last couple of months of 2023 and perhaps even beyond that. So I want to share with you, before I dive into some more about this reading, as I was shuffling the tarot preparing for you, I actually saw the Tower card several times. So through the month of October, you may have experienced what we would call a tower moment, which is where there's some upheaval that's created in order to bring forth a foundational shift. This may have caused you to challenge some outdated belief systems or paradigms, and you may have found that drastic changes were brought forth through the destruction of something else. Okay, certainly this could be a multitude of things depending on your journey specifically, but I wanted to bring that to your attention for those that may resonate with it. So October was a universal 8-month, which brings forth this energy of renewal. It's a reminder that all things in life are connected to the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. We were asked to focus on universal connectedness and collective humanity. And it also brought to our awareness those kind of self-empowerment vibes, which pulled us toward expansion, growth, and divine compassion. So for October, we're going to be looking at the overall energy, what has come to an end for you, what was rebirthed, renewed, or began for you in October, and some wisdom that would best support your healing, growth, and evolution based on what took place. So let's dive in and see what happened in October for you. Please, Father, Mother, Life, Universe, Spirits, Guides, Angels, our cosmic team, our ancestors, our higher selves, tell us about the overall energy of October 2023 for Libra, please. All right, thank you. Tell us, please, what came to an end last month, October 2023 for Libra. Tell us, please, what came... Ooh, that's a lot of cards. Let's try that again. Nice, clear message. What came to an end in October 2023 for Libra, please? Thank you. What was rebirthed, renewed, or began? Thank you. Tell us, please, what wisdom will best support Libra's healing, growth, and evolution based on what took place for them in October. Thank you. We have lots of cards we're getting out for this Tarotscope, so I do appreciate your patience. Tell us more, please, about the overall energy of October 2023 for Libra. Tell us more, please, about the overall energy of October 2023. Thank you. Tell us more, please. What has come to an end? All right. Thank you. Tell us more, please. Okay, thank you. Wow, fast. And tell us more, please, about the wisdom that will best support Libra's healing, growth, and evolution based on what took place for them in October. Thank you. Okay. Anything else we need to know, please, about the overall energy of October 2023 for Libra? What else do we need to know, please, about the overall energy? Thank you. Tell us anything else we need to know, please. What else do we need to know about what has come to an end for Libra in October 2023? All right. Tell us more, please. What has been rebirthed, renewed, or has begun for Libra in October 2023? What was rebirthed, renewed, or began for Libra, please? Okay. And what wisdom? All right. Thank you. Anything else we may have missed or need to know about the overall energy of October 2023 for Libra, please? Okay, thank you. Anything else we need to know or may have missed about what came to an end for Libra in October 2023? Thank you. Anything else we need to know or may have missed about what was rebirthed, renewed, or began for Libra in October 2023? Thank you. And anything else we need to know or may have missed about the wisdom that will best support Libra's healing, growth, and evolution based, okay, right here. Thank you. I don't know why, but I just want to say that I feel like there may be someone listening, and certainly to only take this if it resonates with you. But I feel like if you're somebody who experienced some kind of pain or trauma or something with your right lower leg, just above the ankle area, there may be something very important in this reading for you. It's interesting. I don't often get things like that, but as I was getting the cards out for you, I started to get this pain, this almost burning sensation in my lower leg area, just above my ankle, on the right side. So again, if that is you, there may be something important here for you. All right, so let's dive into the overall energy of October 2023 for you, Libra. We first have here play, have fun, celebrate, don't be so serious. I don't know why, but for some reason, I feel like this is connected to some kind of decision. There feels as though in October, there may have been this overall energy of making decisions. I actually just heard like drawing lines in the sand. So I don't know how that may resonate with you, but I feel like there could have been this nudge or this push or something to not take it so seriously, which is interesting because I feel like there could have been outside parties who were trying to get you to take it very seriously. Whatever this may be for you, this is quite an interesting message because I don't know that I've ever really got something like this necessarily with this card, and this is one of the first decks I've ever had. So I find that to be fascinating, but I feel as though, you know, there was this energy through the month of October that was really kind of encouraging you to have a more lighthearted approach to things. For some of you, this could maybe have something to do with the fact that, you know, it was your birthday month for some of you. And, you know, I feel as though if that is true for you, that could have been what you were celebrating. And I feel like, interestingly, for some of you that were perhaps celebrating your birthday in the month of October, I feel like you may have taken this position to be what some might call a bit more childish or a bit more lighthearted. It feels as though you may have just been celebrating the fact that you are still living, breathing, and here to be able to celebrate another birthday. You may have been very kind of excited or more lively, if you will, throughout the month. And I do feel like there's something here about the overall energy, just acknowledging the fact that you have survived everything that you have come face to face with thus far. So for some, or maybe, how do I say, you could have experienced one or both of these scenarios. One being, again, that perhaps you were faced with certain situations, drawing certain lines in the sand, that you maybe, how do I say, you were just kind of approaching them in a more lighthearted way, or with a little less seriousness than maybe some of those outside of yourself wanted you to. I feel like you were trying not to take things so seriously, trying to not let them like weigh you down, drag you down, type of thing. Or on the other side, you may have just been finding yourself, if you were celebrating, let's say, your birthday or some other sort of special occasion in the month of October, where you were just trying to celebrate the fact that you are still living, congratulating yourself on surviving everything that you faced thus far. Quite interesting. I'm actually seeing that for some, you may have like went out dancing or somewhere where there was like live music or something like that. Yeah, you have here as well, stop, or excuse me, you're already doing it. Stop overthinking, keep facing your true north. So again, I feel like that's part of where this don't be so serious energy is coming in, right? It feels as though you weren't trying to like dwell on things. You weren't trying to like get, like I said, get weighed down or to sink into things and let that impact your mood, or let it depress you or create anxiety or things like this. I feel like you were just trying to the best of your ability to keep moving in whatever direction you felt called, right? Or to align with whatever you felt needed to be aligned with. It feels as though, interestingly, it feels as though you may have been plagued with, let's say, indecision, right? You may have found yourself um, being, kind of passive, or maybe very critical or something in the past. And you may have been trying to like turn over a new leaf, where you're not taking things so seriously, where you are just like, hey, this is what I feel called to do. Hey, this is where I feel called to go. I don't feel like I should take this as seriously as you want me to, type of thing. I feel like you were just trying to do what felt good. Because I feel like there was this encouragement, if you will, or this push, or this calling for you to just do what felt good to you. It feels as though you may resonate with being somebody who has felt like you've carried a heavy burden for a long time. And it just feels like you are trying to just experience something different, whether you're like fully consciously aware of this, or if it was just that you noticed that you were doing things that felt a bit lighter, or you weren't taking things so serious, or you weren't, overthinking a lot of things. You were just kind of like, oh, I'm doing this. Oh, I'm doing this. It feels more playful. It feels more like life is a game type of energy. That's not to say that your decisions aren't important, or that your life isn't important, or that it's all just fun and games, because certainly that's not the truth, right? We do have work that we're supposed to be doing here, that is important for our evolution and our growth. But it just feels like this month you've kind of just wanted to like kick your shoes off and have a good time, or again, to just feel things in a more lighthearted manner, to feel a bit lighter, to experience the more light, or rather the lighter side of being alive, right? So I feel as though, the overall energy was trying to put you in a place where you weren't overthinking things so much, where you were just doing the things that you felt called to do. We also have here for you justice. This is very interesting, Libra. This is your energy showing up. And here's the thing, I feel like the overall energy was just trying to connect you back to yourself, was trying to get you to show up for yourself, to do things, like I said, that felt good, that felt truthful. or maybe things that brought you a sense of clarity. And I feel like you may have discovered that overthinking things and worrying about things and being anxious about things and going back and forth about things just creates an unnecessary level of stress and confusion and weight in your world. So it really does feel like, October was about you showing up for yourself and, like I said, ways that felt truthful and clear, um, and good, which I love for you. You also have here angelic frequency. Angels are here. You are safe. Potent connection. So for some of you, it feels as though you may have discovered, maybe through the month of October, maybe before October, that you do have the support of the angelic team, your angelic team, the angels, the archangels, behind you. You may have gotten a bunch of signs or synchronicities that alluded to that. And this could be why you took the approach to the month like you did, right? It feels as though, again, there's more of this energy. I love it because I feel it in my body. I love that it feels a little bit more carefree. It feels a little bit more like you may have surrendered a bit, right? And I feel like this, for some of you, could have come from the fact that you feel safe, that you feel as though you're being guided. You feel as though you have that support behind you. Maybe you have worked on developing your connection with the angels, with your guides, with your ancestors, with your higher self, with Christ, whatever you resonate with, whatever beings you resonate with. And it feels as though, there was this feeling of, I can just kind of let go a little bit because I'm being guided, I'm being supported, I am safe, and it's okay for me to do this. Again, it feels as though there are those listening who have carried a heavy burden or a heavy weight for a long period of time, and it just feels as though, perhaps for some of you, the angels kind of lifted that a bit. Or maybe you had done some healing in previous months that allowed you to feel a little bit lighter. You may have even gotten some kind of confirmation or truth or clarity around, you're doing what you need to be doing, right? You may have gotten some sign or synchronicity or something that told you you're on the right path. You don't need to worry so much. You don't need to think about things so much. Just keep moving forward in the direction of your truth and in the direction of what makes you happy, in the direction your intuition is calling you, and you'll be fine. You have your commitment. You dedicate yourself to your beliefs wholeheartedly, yes, knowing that love is the essence of your very being. And again, here's the thing. I feel like there's been this new level of commitment to yourself, which is why I feel the Justice card showed up, or you, if you will, showed up for yourself this month, right? I feel like there's been this commitment or recommitment to yourself, to your happiness, to your joy, to your life, to your truth. And I feel like this has positioned you in such a way that throughout the month of October, again, things just felt lighter. I know I'm going to sound repetitive, but it keeps coming through the same way. Every time I try to explore it in a different direction, I keep being brought back to this same theme of, committing to yourself, committing to your truth, doing things for you, doing what feels good, doing what brings you joy, what brings you peace, what brings you contentment. And I feel like, again, this stems from some kind of commitment to yourself. Maybe in the past you've been a bit indecisive, or what is the word I'm looking for? Yeah, maybe you lacked a bit of discipline, if you will, towards committing to yourself. Maybe you were struggling with some codependency or with people pleasing, or something along those lines. And I feel now you have, in some way or another, found a way to balance that out. You may have released fears around maybe not being enough, not being good enough, of making mistakes and things like this, and have just tried to the best of your ability to align with what feels good. And I really do love that for you, Libra, because in past readings that I've done for you, or past Tarotscopes that I've done for you, there's been a lot of that, a lot of need for that. Okay, so I love this. please do let me know in the comments if this resonates with you. I would love your feedback, and would love to kind of, um, how would you say, celebrate your joy with you. So, what has come to an end for you, Libra? In October, have you answered your deepest calling? Yeah, like I was saying, I feel like you have just kind of moved in the directions you've been called. And I feel like what's come to an end for you is not doing that, right? Is like sacrificing your own joy, your own happiness, your own peace, your own, um, what is the word I'm looking for? Your own desires, right? For other people, to please other people, to, make, I just get this sense that you could have been, like I said, somebody who has been people pleasing and codependent, and really, kind of hyper focused on other people's joy and other people's happiness, and doing things for them, that I feel like what's come to an end is you sacrificing what calls to you, right? Or you have maybe in the past let people kind of walk all over you, or maybe you are in a position where you had a big fear of that, and maybe that has since been released. So, I feel like what has come to an end is, like I said, you neglecting those deeper callings, uh, especially in regards to like your intuition pulling you, or getting signs and synchronicities about certain things that you feel you should be doing. This is so powerful. It really does feel, Libra, like you are in a very powerful place in comparison to previous Tarotscopes. We also have the Ten of Swords here in the reverse, and I feel like this is an energy coming through of, moving upward. I feel like it's interesting because we've asked what has come to an end, and I feel like what came to an end is what needed to come to an end. Okay. I certainly, we were looking at here, this, have you answered your deepest calling? And I feel like you've done that. I feel like you're no longer betraying yourself. Okay. So I feel like things have really come to a space of like completion. I feel like you may have closed a cycle there where you were like repeatedly betraying yourself, repeatedly, like, for lack of better terms, failing yourself, failing to answer what it is you wanted and needed, really to take care of your own desires. And so, I feel like I said, what came to an end, however that may look for you, is what needed to come to an end and was inevitable, to some degree or another. But I feel like you did reach a certain level of completion, which has allowed you to just be lifted. Yeah, so we have here soul star activation, fulfilling soul contracts, remembering who you are. Yeah, I mean, again, I know I'm going to sound repetitive here, but I feel like what's come to an end is you neglecting yourself, you just putting yourself to the wayside, putting yourself on the back burner. Really just kind of, I feel like there's this energy of like living on the sidelines of your own life, right? Not being the main character, but maybe being like a supporting character in your own life. And I feel like to some degree or another, you've remembered that you matter. You remember that you are worthy. You remember that you're enough. You remember that you deserve the best of things in life. And that it starts with you giving that to yourself. It starts with you drawing those lines in the sand and saying, hey, I'm not going to stand for this. I'm not just going to lay down and take all of these things. I'm not just going to sit back and betray myself over and over and over again, right? I know that I'm worthy of good things. I know that I'm worthy of happiness. I know that I'm worthy of fulfillment. And here, we have this fulfilling soul contracts, which brings me back to this 10 of swords, or this 10 energy, where there has been this end of a cycle or this completion that has taken place. And I think that's absolutely beautiful, right? So again, it really does feel to me as though, what has come to an end is this sacrifice of self. And that's not to say that, you won't sacrifice certain things, but I feel like it's now, it feels more like of a choice, right? It's more intentional. It's more something that you are doing because you want to, right? So by that I mean, sacrificing certain belief systems, certain patterns, certain behaviors, certain traumas, woundings, programmings that aren't serving you. You may be sacrificing those things, but again, it's not, you're not just forgoing yourself. You're doing it because you know that it's going to help to continue to lift you. Yes, I love this. Libra, my gosh, I love this. You have halls of learning, spirit guides, confirmation, great lessons. So again, I am going to sound repetitive, but I feel, what has come to an end here is you've learned the lesson, right? You've completed that cycle. And I feel like this is confirmation for you. If you've been resonating with all of this thus far, this is your confirmation. And again, we do have that nod to spirit guides here, which I love because we have the angels showing up here. And I did say that I feel like, you may have gotten some kind of sign or some kind of something that really gave you that confidence to trust in the fact that you are supported, to trust in the fact that you are not doing this alone, that you have the assistance and help and aid of, the angelic hierarchy, of your ancestors, of your loved ones that have passed, of those beings or entities that you maybe cannot see with your physical eyes. So, I feel like you may have had a lack of faith in that previously, but I feel like again, if you're resonating with this, that has come to an end now. Okay? Because again, I feel like you did get confirmation, and I feel like you've learned lessons, or you've learned a lesson by following or rather those nudges, following that call from your soul. It's so freaking powerful. And again, I love seeing you in this state because it's been a while. Ooh, yes, you have peacefulness. You recognize that balance, kindness, and love bring calmness to your soul. So again, I feel like what has come to an end is that imbalance, is that, engaging in and thank you. Sorry. I think it's coming in so fast, you guys. I feel like what has come to an end is engaging in experiences, situations, people that really don't bring that sense of peace, but rather bring imbalance, right? I feel like, again, you're making yourself a priority, or you did. And so, the absence of that peace, the absence of that balance, the absence of that calm has come to an end because you are making that a priority in your experience. And I feel as though, those experiences or those people, those situations that were bringing, lack of kindness, where they were bringing cruelty and judginess and, all of these lower vibrational energies into your experience. It's like, no, I'm drawing the line in the sand. If you're disrupting my peace, we're not doing this. So, like, kudos to you, Libra. Pat yourself on the back, because it is very, very difficult to break free from that. It's very difficult to move into a place where you put yourself first and you draw those lines in the sand, you create those boundaries. So, again, if you resonate with this, like, kudos to you. Congratulations for closing a cycle that was not serving you. So, what has then been reborn, renewed, or began for you last month? You have get grounded, empaths, highly sensitives, connect with nature. Right. So, interestingly, the thing that's standing out the most here to me is that highly sensitive energy. And I feel as though, ooh, yeah, I just got kind of lightheaded feeling. Um, because I feel as though what has been rebirth, renewed, or began for you is understanding how sensitive you are to the energies around you. You may have become more aware of your more spiritual, empathic nature, your ability to pick up on the emotions and energies of other people. And I feel as though part of this or this high sensitivity, if you will, has allowed you to connect more deeply with your intuition, with those energies around you, right? Of let's say the angels or guides, that kind of thing. But again, I feel like it's also awakened you to how sensitive you are to the energies of those around you. So again, for those people who maybe were in your experience, who were, this constant state of negativity, or, whatever it may have been, or however that may have showed up, I feel like started to recognize that you pick up on that, and that being around or exposing yourself to that energy impacts you, right? For some of you, you may have discovered earthing, or grounding, which is kind of walking on the actual earth with your bare feet, or laying on the earth, or sitting on the earth. Um, or maybe you were called to like be outdoors in the month of October. In my neck of the woods, it's gotten pretty cold. So, if you're anywhere in the eastern, upper eastern part of the US, maybe that's a little bit different. But I feel as though, there could have been this call for you to connect with nature when you felt like you could, or to maybe actually start earthing or grounding to bring more balance. And I feel like if this was you, maybe you were just doing something as simple as taking walks, or sitting beneath a tree, or something like this. I feel like you may have gotten clarity in those moments. I feel like you could have been shown something, or maybe you started meditating outside or something like this. And I feel like in those moments, there were epiphanies, right? Where you're like, oh. And for some of you, that could have been about other people, where you're like, oh, shoot, this person is bringing this into my experience, and that's not something that I want. For some of you, when this started happening, it could have brought a little bit of fear forward, just because it was unknown or foreign to you. Or in some cases, this could have brought fear forward because I feel like it brought clarity or epiphanies around certain people that maybe you were like, crap, right? Where maybe you didn't really want to, let's say, create distance or boundaries between you and certain individuals, but I feel like it brought you that clarity that was undeniable. It feels like these red flags that are like, okay, this cannot happen, right? So I feel like that's what started, or was either began, rebirth, or renewed for you. And yeah, there's that epiphany. Like I said, I felt it. Okay. So you also have the Ace of Swords, which is that, first of all, the aces are the ones, or, they represent new beginnings, opportunity, potential. And with the Ace of Swords in particular, it is that aha moment. It is that epiphany. So again, I feel like the lights just started turning on for you in regard to certain things throughout the month of October, and really provided you a sense of clarity, or a breakthrough type of energy, where you were able to see things for what they are. And, as helpful as that can be, and as uplifting and glorious as that can be, it can also be painful, because I have this saying, which I'm sure you've heard before: the truth will set you free, but first it's going to hurt a lot. So I want to also commend your courage, in recognizing those truths, and acknowledging them, and seeing them for what they are, and moving accordingly. Again, this is, it's for those who resonate, or feel as though this reading really speaks to them. But I just want to say that it takes a tremendous amount of courage and bravery to face truth, and to see it for what it is, to be very honest with yourself, and to show up for yourself in that way. We have here higher heart activation, dropping shields, divine love. Your heart is healed. So what I love about this, Libra, is what I feel like has been rebirthed in you. For some of you, okay, this is not going to resonate with everyone. And I am not approaching this from a dogmatic religious perspective. I just want to make that very clear. For some of you, you have found Christ within you. And maybe you wouldn't even word it that way, but you may have started reconnecting with your heart, opening your heart up, right? And a lot of times when you step into the space of purity, of truth, of acknowledging truth, and being very transparent, and very open with yourself, right? It tends to have this purifying effect on your heart. You are able to heal certain things because you're able to see them for what they are, and you no longer carry this like heaviness of the lie, right? Of trying to convince yourself that something is, XYZ when it really is AB, right? Type of thing. So, even if you wouldn't necessarily perceive it that way, I feel as though you are connecting with that Christ impulse within you, which, drives that desire for truth, for love, for clarity, for honesty, and for really kind of coming to terms with certain wounds and traumas and programmings and things you've been carrying that have really created this heaviness within your heart. I also feel that for some of you, it's very interesting, because I feel like some of you, like I said earlier, may have been a bit kind of codependent on others, or maybe like a bit of a people pleaser type of thing. And I feel like it was because you were seeking love outside of yourself, where again this epiphany may have occurred, where you started showing up for yourself and loving yourself. And so with that, I feel like you could have opened yourself up or experienced more of that divine love, that unity within. And this may have helped you to kind of drop your shields a bit, to not be so worried about, let's say, getting rejected or abandoned or things like this, because I feel like you've been, for some of you, providing that love for yourself, right? And again, for some of you, this is or could be through a connection with Christ or with the angels, with those higher realms. And the more you've elevated your frequency, I feel like the stronger this is gotten or is going to get for you. So certainly I feel like that divine love is being renewed within you. I feel as though through the month of October, your heart started to heal. And I feel like it's through these epiphanies and that transparency with yourself, that honesty, that truth, showing up for yourself, which has allowed you to do this, or has helped to encourage this, right? God, I love this so much for you. I cannot even express that enough. It like I have this big cheesy grin on my face for you guys, because this is incredible. You also have here third eye activation, brow chakra, inner vision, clear seeing. Yes, like I said, right? I feel like what began within you is that ability to gain clarity through connecting with your intuition, with that inner vision, with those higher callings, those deeper callings, right? What your soul has been speaking to you, what truth has been speaking to you, where you felt called. I feel like you really just started to gain this sense of, okay, I get it. I get it. I feel like your resistance, right? We have that dropping shields. I feel like your resistance levels went way down. And once you were open and receptive to this coming in, to showing up for yourself, for standing up for yourself, for expressing yourself, for standing in your truth, I feel like things just got clearer and clearer and clearer. Now, that's not to say that you're like good to go. You don't have anything else to do. Everything is freaking rainbows and butterflies. But I just feel like there's this sense of almost peace, because I feel like you're gaining this clear understanding, or clearer understanding, and I feel like it's just lifted this huge weight off your shoulders. I feel like it's liberated you in some sense, and I feel like moving through life may feel a lot easier than it did previously. Okay, so for example, if you were to compare, let's say, October to like January 2023, you may be like, gosh, things just feel so much better right now, right? Or at any, and I'm not saying January specifically, though that may be relevant for someone. I just feel like if you were to look back on the year, how you may have felt as, you moved through October and moved into November, you may just feel a lot lighter. We have compassion. You demonstrate the language of the heart by actively sharing and living love. So again, I feel like what has been renewed here, and I feel like this plays into perhaps for some of you. Okay, so I want to approach this in a way. Some of you may not have felt this deeply. Okay, I just feel like this isn't going to resonate with every single person. But for some of you, I feel as though, what was rebirthed, renewed, or began within you is that empathic connection. Like I said, being highly aware of how other energies impact you. And for some of you, you may have actually felt the pain of others, right? You may have intuited that pain. You may have been able to tap into that. And for some of you, I feel like it could have created these epiphanies, these aha moments where you're like, oh, wow, this is why that person is this way. And you could feel that pain. You could feel that trauma. You could feel how this person was impacted by whatever they're carrying and how it makes them feel, which could have also created this, dropping of shields, this divine love where you just opened your heart and found yourself being very compassionate to other situations. Now, I do want to make it very clear that for some of you, even though you've experienced this compassion, this understanding, I feel like you still were able to draw lines. It's like, because just because you're hurting and in pain doesn't mean that you can inflict that upon me, doesn't mean that you can project that onto me, right? Like, I see you, I hear you, but I don't have to tolerate this type of treatment. Okay. Because I feel like for those of you who resonate with this, I feel as though you took responsibility for your own happiness, for your own peace and growth and evolution, right? And so I feel like you may be in a position, or may have found yourself in a position where you're like, if I can do it, you can do it, and I don't have to sit back and just take this, right? Now, for others of you, I feel like through your own healing, and through your own acknowledgement of certain situations and things, I feel like, again, you may have experienced a certain level of healing, which has allowed you to be more compassionate, especially towards yourself. For some of you, I feel like there's been a very big focus, or there was a very big focus through the month of October 2023, where you again were showing up for yourself. And that also includes being compassionate towards yourself through whatever it is you're navigating. I feel as though in the past, some of you may have been carrying these burdens, carrying lots of things, and you may have been very hard on yourself, very critical in some ways of yourself. Right. I just feel like there's this energy of like beating yourself down. And with what you've learned through the month of October, I feel like you've opened up doors where you are now being more compassionate towards yourself and allowing yourself to just be. So for example, if your experience, if you're facing some kind of trauma or wounding or something that's come up for healing, I feel like you may now be in a position, or started to be in a position in October, where you were allowing yourself to go through things. Like, if I'm sad right now, I'm freaking sad. If I'm angry, I'm angry. But I'm learning how to navigate these energies and be compassionate towards myself in regards to them, versus running from them, ignoring them, versus pretending like they're not there, or feeling guilty for experiencing them, or feeling a certain way, right? So, I really feel, for you, Libra, if you're resonating with all of this, like, your level of love towards yourself has increased exponentially, tremendously, whatever the proper word is to put there. Okay. And again, through that, I feel like that also has led to some epiphanies and aha moments, or clarity, right? Providing that compassion for yourself, I feel like, has really opened your eyes to a lot of things. So the wisdom that would best support your healing, growth, and evolution, based on everything that's come through here. Yes, like I said, you have Star Mother. How can you mother yourself? Again, right? Showing up for yourself, nurturing yourself, supporting yourself, caring for yourself, loving for yourself in any situation that you're moving through. I mean, in my, let me rephrase. From my perspective, a mother is someone who is going to allow you to be what you are, and is going to support you in that, is going to nurture that, is going to care and to love, care for and to love regardless. Now, I'm not saying that, I just want to be very clear, because I'm not saying like a mother would support somebody who is hurting other people. That is not the kind of nurturing that I'm talking about. Okay. But I'm talking about, for example, and we'll kind of go back to like childhood here. If a child falls and hurts themselves, right? I feel like a mother is going to, okay, you're hurt. I see that you're hurt. It's okay to express that you're hurt. It's okay to cry. It's okay to feel that, right? It's okay to be where you are and then to move past it, right? To learn how to navigate those emotions, because it's not about avoiding them. I feel like I need to share something with you here, and I feel like this is something that you may have become aware of. But those who cannot, will not allow you to be where you are, that has nothing to do with you. It's because they are uncomfortable with how you, with what you're expressing. And in many cases, it's because they won't allow themselves to express those things. So they feel uncomfortable around people who do freely. All right. I just felt like I needed to point that out. So again, right, you cannot make this up. The wisdom that would best support your healing, growth, and evolution based on what's come through here is to mother yourself, is to continue showing up for yourself, nurturing yourself, caring for yourself, showing yourself kindness and compassion, allowing yourself to be where you are, and loving whatever you see, whatever you experience, whatever you are in that moment. Recognizing that you are enough, you matter, and it's important to put yourself as a priority. You have here the Five of Wands, and so this energy is really showing up as, how do I say this? So this is coming through a couple of ways. One of them is respecting differences, right? It's respecting differences, understanding like you're not going to see things the same way I do. You're not going to experience them the same way I do. That's fine. You don't have to. But that doesn't mean that I have to change to make you comfortable, because I am also going to experience things the way that I do, or feel things the way I do, or process the way that I do. And I don't have to accommodate you by changing myself. Right? For some of you, you may have seen where you've avoided conflict to your detriment. Okay. And I feel like, again, the wisdom that will best support you moving forward is to make sure that you're not doing that. Okay. Make sure that you're not avoiding conflict to your detriment. Make sure that you're not just avoiding conflict for the sake of avoiding conflict. Now, certainly, there's that kind of energy of like, don't sweat the small stuff, pick your battles type of thing. Because, why would you want to create all this disharmony over something, maybe that's not that important, or doesn't have a lot of weight to it, or something that's kind of, for lack of better terms, silly. Like you don't want to fight with your kids about taking the trash out or something, okay? Or fight with your partner about taking the trash out or something, right? So again, I feel like there's this energy here of just making sure that you're not avoiding conflict to your detriment, but also, kind of choosing your battles in a sense, while respecting differences. You have here Order of Melchizedek, embraced by light, mission uncovered, don't give up. So the wisdom that's best going to support your healing, growth, and evolution is to keep going. Right? I actually just heard you're on the right track. Keep going. Right? Don't give up. I feel like you have, again, if this resonates with you, I feel like you've opened your heart to light. Okay. And it has embraced you. Okay. And you may resonate with that very deeply. I don't know why, but for some of you, I feel like that may even create some kind of emotional response in you. You may be even feeling like your heart is very warm, or maybe even feeling like you are tearing up a little bit or getting a little bit choked up. Just because I feel like you may have felt isolated or alone for a long time, and you now feel like you're being embraced, supported, loved, held by the universe, by God, by the angels, right? Whatever you resonate with most. And, so I feel like the wisdom here is for you to keep going because you're on the right track. Okay. I also feel there's a message coming through of trusting yourself. Keep trusting yourself. Keep following that calling, right? Keep facing your true north. For some of you, this may even lead to or has led to what you might feel is your higher calling or your mission in this lifetime. Gosh, I love this reading for you. Ooh, yes, and it gets better. You also have I am presence, light body activation, accessing the divine within. So I just want to share with you a little something. Based on spiritual science or anthroposophy, the work of Rudolf Steiner, Gigi Young is someone who explains this beautifully and clearly, very easy to understand. We as human beings are in a phase of initiation where we are meant to be developing our capital I or our individuality, right? That I am. And part of that is recognizing our multifaceted nature. Part of that is recognizing that we are not only human beings, right, in a physical body, but we are also souls. Or, to break that down even further, we are also etheric, we are also astral, we are also that I. And I feel like the wisdom that's best supporting you is like, this is, how do I say this? It feels like this is the path that you are currently on is to, how do I say, showing up for yourself, being honest with yourself, learning how to love yourself, learning to heal, breaking free from the kind of puppet masters that have been in control, right? The trauma, the wounding, the programming, the codependency, the people pleasing, the fear. This has helped you to some degree or another further develop that capital I, right? Which has allowed you in some sense to tap into that divine within. Or it may show up, and I think a way that would probably best explain how this might show up is that I am worthy, right? I am enough. I matter. Okay. So I feel like, the month of October could have been incredibly activating for you. Again, you may have felt more connected to your own divinity. Maybe you're somebody who opened up to the fact that you are the physical embodiment of God. You are the physical embodiment of the angels. You are the physical embodiment of the cosmos. And, for some of you, maybe you want to explore anthroposophy, or Rudolf Steiner's work, spiritual science, on a deeper level to really gain a level of understanding in regards to the structure of your own evolution, what's actually taking place, to really ground into your own evolution and your growth and what that looks like. But overall, I feel like the wisdom here is to continue aligning with that capital I, with your individuality, breaking free from like the status quo, breaking free from society's expectations, continuously aligning with what is true for you on a very deep level, what is most in alignment with your soul's true essence, right? Getting back to who you are. I friggin' love this. This is probably one of my favorite readings for the month of October. Finally, ooh, yes, 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 yes. Like I said, you cannot make this stuff up. You have unity. You understand that the love shared with another is amplified and has a ripple effect across the universe. Now, I want to be clear. When I turned this over, unity, the word unity, showed up for you as this unity within. Okay, so I feel like the wisdom here is to continue to unify within yourself, right? We're like, there's this energy. I feel like the message is this, okay? It feels like, Spirit, the angels are saying, we're not doing this rejection of self, right? And that would look something like, if you're feeling angry, I'm not angry. Okay, that's a lie. That is rejecting parts of yourself. Or if you feel like crying and you're like trying not to cry, right? That is a rejection of yourself. Or if you feel called to do a certain thing and you deny yourself that, that's a rejection of yourself. Okay. And as long as you're not hurting yourself or anybody else, there's this energy of keep unifying, right? Keep acknowledging the aspects of yourself. Keep acknowledging your truth. Keep acknowledging what comes through and accepting that. Okay. It's like, we're not, again, like I said, the message is like, we're not rejecting parts of ourselves. We're not ignoring parts of ourselves. We are not avoiding parts of ourselves. We're being truthful and honest, and we're showing up for ourselves, because whatever we're experiencing matters, and we have the right, and we should be addressing those things, right? We should be allowed to just be who we are. And I feel like that is the, final piece of wisdom, based on everything that's come through here for you for the month of October, is to, again, really just reconnect with all of the facets of yourself. And every bit of this reading has alluded to as much, right? You have the energy here of stop overthinking, keep facing your true north, commit to yourself. You have remembering who you are. What is your deepest calling? You have this epiphany, this aha, this, connection to your heart. You have, paying attention to yourself and mothering yourself and nurturing yourself. You have that I am, and now you have unity. Not only that, but you have justice, or your card in the tarot, showing up. So it is all this energy coming through of showing up for you again and again and again, and choosing you again and again and again. And I love this for you. I pray that something here has clarified things for you or confirmed things for you that you experienced during the month of October. I pray that you have been able to and will continue to show up for yourself in every way you possibly can, that you will continue to acknowledge your truth over and over again, choosing yourself over and over again, and that you recognize that you do matter, you are important, you are valuable, you are worthy, and showing up for yourself is incredibly powerful for your healing. It creates growth and evolution in the most beautiful, beautiful ways. And I pray that you congratulate yourself on that if you have been able to do so. If something resonated here for you, or was valuable, or confirmed or clarified something for you, please do the YouTube things by liking, sharing, commenting below, or subscribing. It really does help the channel to grow and lets YouTube know that there may be something valuable here for someone else. So I really do appreciate that. Not only that, but it helps me tremendously. I greatly value your feedback. So again, I really do appreciate that. I pray that you had an incredible month. I pray that you have, again, been able to show up for yourself, and that you continue to do so. Take care of your evolving, worthy, beautiful, growing, evolving soul. Peace be with you and within you. And I hope to see you for the November 2023 Tarotscope. Bye.